Are we gonna blow that engine up? Most likely. Probably. Actually, I know we will blow the engine up.
Saw the money ain't got activated. Saw the money ain't got activated. Saw that money ain't got activated. I saw that money ain't got activated. Canada Goose. Keep me wearing my cold city. I got a pole with me. Black Horse 450.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I want to go ahead and apologize for the wind and rain right now. It is like Hurricane Katrina outside, so hopefully it's not hard to hear me. Gosh, dude, that's so bad. Anyhow, so I haven't uploaded in about almost 2 weeks, which is a long time for me. Now, what happened was basically the BMW broke down about a month ago. A bunch of stuff happened with it. Long story short, we got the car back last Thursday. Had to put a transmission in it. I filmed all of this, right? And all the footage is pretty much not gonna work. So, for lack of better terms, I'm a lazy piece of crap, and I haven't uploaded in 2 weeks because I'm a lazy piece of crap. But don't get it twisted though. We still are up here working every single day, and you know, don't take it as I'm not working, because I have been up here literally every single day since always. Anyhow, so I know a lot of you guys want to see first gen content, but we are waiting on some stuff to do that. We need to get some sanding blocks, we need to get epoxy primer, just waiting basically. Another reason that it took so long for me to get video up is because one of the tenants here actually complained because of the dust from sanding. And if you guys look, the top of these units are actually open, and I don't know why they did it that way. I think it's because they ran electric and it was easier that way. So basically, I respect that. You know, I wouldn't want dust on my stuff, especially if I had something nice here. And so for the last 2 nights, I've been hanging plastic and sealing it all off at the tops so that dust isn't a problem anymore. So with that being said, I really couldn't work on this for like the last week and a half or so. But we are gonna get back on this soon. Just like I said, waiting on some stuff. Now, the hard body has took a very hard turn in the shape. This is my favorite vehicle, I think. The first gen is like a completely different type of like favorite. Like, this is what started it all, so like it's really right here in my heart. Like, I could get rid of this and I would probably be all right with it after about a week. I could never get rid of this thing. So with that being said, we're gonna get right onto this. So basically, as you guys know, I think you guys know, but the engine's been making a lot of noise. The rear end's been making a ton of noise. It's got rear end problems. The frame, if you look here, has split in half again. My welder is just not cutting it, and basically we're gonna have to cut the frame in half and fix it the right way. With that being said, a lot of the parts for this welder has came in, and basically all we gotta do is go buy a tank. So we should be able to rip this thing soon. And basically this video, we're gonna be tearing the bed off of this thing. I think we're gonna pull the valve cover and assess, see if there's any top end damage in the engine. And then if we can't find anything, then we're gonna pull the head on it and see what we can find there. And yeah, so this video is going to be kind of jam-packed of like doing a lot of stuff to the hard body and kind of trying to sort some things out and get this thing ready to rip for drift season. So Gosh, I am such a diesel noob. Oh, I'm such a diesel noob. Look at this mess. So I'm used to diesels where you can pull the valve covers off and actually let them run, and you can like watch the valves and stuff, and it doesn't make a mess. But this Yi timing chain right here literally started a freaking like circulation of oil. I'm such an idiot. Like, I completely forgot about that. So I was hoping to run this thing with the valve cover off so I could see or hear where the noise is coming from. Like, that was my mental process. Like, that's what I thought would work, but I can't even run this thing with the freaking valve cover off because like it flings oil literally everywhere. So I don't know that that's really an option now. All right guys, so basically everything appears to be okay. The cam looks like it could be slightly white. It's hard telling. I need to really brake clean everything down. None of the rocker arms seem to be like loose. Like, everything feels like it doesn't feel like it has a tremendous amount of lash. I mean, they all feel pretty tight. So I don't know at this point what I should do. The timing chain is extremely tight. I mean, it's nowhere near loose. So like I said, everything seems to be okay from what I can tell. It does have a lot of top end noise though, so there's definitely something that's going on. I read that a lot of people have been running seafoam through the oil and it takes care of the issue, because I guess some of the hydraulic lifters can get plugged up and it'll make noise, especially after an oil change, everyone said. So everyone said put seafoam through the oil and change the oil after 100 miles and it usually fixes that issue. Honestly, my biggest thing is blow by. So when I pulled this engine cap off while it was running, it had a lot of blow by, but I don't know if I would really call it blow by though, because the timing chain is like right by the oil cap. So I feel like it was just blowing oil out from this rotating around. So it honestly might not actually have blow by, because it doesn't smoke, it doesn't smell like oil, it doesn't burn oil. Like, to my knowledge, it burns zero oil. So I was really like kind of bummed out because I thought for sure it was gonna be low in compression. So I think the deciding factor is gonna be, I'm gonna do a compression test on it, and if it's still if it has low compression, then I'll pull the head off. If it does have low compression, it's most likely probably going to be like a valve seat issue, would be my guess, because these KAs, they get real clumped up and stuff around the valve seats, and so like sometimes they won't seal the way, or like the valve seals can be an issue. But the thing is though, it doesn't burn oil, so I don't know. The truck runs fine, runs great, doesn't lack any power. I mean, it literally runs fine, so it could be nothing, or it could be something. But with the things that we're about to do to this engine, I really don't want to risk it. I kind of want to do a little health check on it before we dive into things to prevent it from having a catastrophic failure. It won't be the end of the world if it does, because, you know, we'll just put another engine in it. But because most likely this engine and trans is gonna have to come out regardless. It's probably gonna need a clutch before too long, but I don't know. I'm gonna call that it for today, and come back up here with a clear head tomorrow and kind of decide where I want to go from this point forward, and see if I can get a hold of a compression tester maybe, and go from there. Okay guys, so we got everything to do a compression test. We've actually already did the first 3 cylinders. Compression tests are just one of those things where like you just want to do it by yourself. You literally turn the radio off, you get serious and you get focused, and it's just like a real tense moment. So I did the first 3. Good news is the first 3 have been 120 psi, completely on the dot, 120 each cylinder so far, and that is cold engine. Now correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, comment below and tell me, but if this was at an operating temp, I believe the compression would be a little higher, because things expand with heat. So I think people were saying around 140, 130 is like a good number for these engines. So like I said, that's cold. So I would imagine operating it would probably be closer to that maybe. Even if it's not, I feel like if every single cylinder is 120, that's probably pretty normal. Typically if you have one cylinder that's way lower than the other, then you know you have a problem somewhere. But we're gonna do the last cylinder. We're gonna cross our fingers that it is at 120 as well, and we'll go from there. And then I'll show you guys how to use a compression tester in case for some reason you've never used one. I'll show you how to do that real quick. So basically, to perform a compression test, you're gonna want a kit like this. It'll have a hose in here with a fitting on the end. You can get this at Harbor Freight. I think I paid 30 bucks for it. So there's different adapters you can put on here. Mine happened to be the one that came on it. And so this will thread into the spark plug hole, and then this has a quick connect, so it'll quick connect onto here. And so basically you'll want to screw this in by hand until it seats on that O-ring, which is plenty. Just make sure it's tight, and then you'll crank the engine. You'll want to pull the fuel pump relay or something to prevent fuel from going to the engine, so that way it doesn't flood and it doesn't try and start. On hard bodies, the fuel pump relay is right there. So basically I'm gonna pull that spark plug boot off, pull the spark plug out, thread this in, and crank the engine over, and we'll see what we get. Okay, got it hooked up now. Get in here, crank the truck. Oh. All right, let's cross our fingers, boys. 120. So we got a healthy engine to my knowledge. Sick. Okay guys, so obviously there's a reason for why we kind of tore the hard body down like we did and started kind of doing a health check on it. Yeah, it was making noise, but to be completely honest with you, I would have just drove it like that for a while before I got around to looking at it, just because I knew it wasn't anything serious, because it didn't lack any power, it didn't smoke, it just made a little bit of noise. So I think I'm going to try the seafoam trick that everyone tries with these, where they run it in the oil for 100 miles and then flush it. I guess the hydraulic lifters can get plugged up. But the real reason that we decided to kind of do a health check on the motor was we're going to be adding some horsepower to this thing. Now, before you guys think like, oh, I thought you were going to LS swap a truck and I thought you were going to do all this, that's still a plan. I always have said, and I think I might have even said it in a video, that I will probably be turboing this truck and building an LS truck separate, so that way I can learn from a turbo 4-cylinder setup and then also learn the LS style. I'll be honest with you guys, I know a lot about diesels. Right? But I'm not too familiar with gas turbo application. I've never personally owned one, so this will be a first, and it'll be a really big learning experience, just like it started out with the first gen, you know. And I feel like I want to step out of that comfort zone. I want to learn it. I feel like the best way to learn it is just to do it. Are we going to blow that engine up? Most likely. Probably. Actually, I know we will blow the engine up, okay? But the good thing about this thing is these engines are almost disposable. You can buy one of these for 500 bucks and you're good to go. So really not too worried about that. Really just want to learn the basics as much as I can, and then obviously it'll progress. LS is still happening. To be completely honest, the only thing preventing that from happening is this thing not being done yet, because I don't want to have to start on too many projects at once. But as soon as this truck leaves this shop or is capable of being like parked and driven here to be worked on, we are going to be starting on the LS swap and the 240 rear end swap on the other hard body we have. As of right now, this is going to be the truck that we turbo, the KA. We actually already ordered some of our turbo parts. I'll show you guys this. So this is our manifold. Okay, so I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you right off the bat. I have seen better quality parts before. I'm not impressed with this at all. If I'm being honest, it looks used. I mean, I paid a brand new price for it, but if you look inside here, let me see if I can turn this. You can kind of see where like they didn't trim everything right, and I mean, it's sturdy. I think it's gonna be a good manifold. It's just if you're going for looks, I don't think that this is honestly the manifold. Plus, I don't think it would really flow all that well. But then again, what do I know? I mean, the inside tubes are like clear, so maybe I'm just complaining to complain, but definitely does look used though, I'm not gonna lie. So this is a I want to say T3 T4 flange, so you can bolt each one up. Kind of defeats the purpose. It's kind of a cheater flange because technically, you know, this isn't T4 opening, but I want to say I paid a little over $200 to $300 for it. I can't remember exactly, but got this ordered. We ordered the turbo, so that's the two like main things obviously to start a turbo build, and basically we have to order now my SAFC, which will be your fuel control. So if you're not going to go standalone or you're not going to run a chipped ECU, you will need this to control fuel. Bigger radiator and fans. I hear a lot of people, once they turbo these trucks, they don't like to stay cool. Not 100% sure if that's true or not. A lot of people say if you can keep your stock fan clutch to keep it. So that might be something we kind of like turbo the truck and see how it plays out. Intercooler piping, which I'm going to make myself. Front mount intercooler, that's cheap. Really it'll be cutting up the front end to make it fit. Oil feed and return. So the feed, I'm not really sure where we pull oil feed from, but return, I know we'll have to weld a bung on the side of the pan. What I will probably do is probably drain all the oil out of it and drill the hole and weld it on with it still on the truck, and then run a bunch of oil through the pan to kind of clean out any metal shavings that could have gotten in there, and do that way. 240 intake, and I put maybe, to be honest, it just depends if I can find one soon enough. I kind of want this to be like a month-long kind of thing. So if I can't find one within the month or within the next couple months, we probably will just make the hard body intake work. We need a wastegate and a blow-off valve. Those are two fairly cheap items. And then I put a probably clutch with a big LOL because it will almost 100% probably need a clutch. Whether it'd probably be smarter to just do it, you know, before we turbo it, probably yes. I'm kind of just trying to play it by ear. We'll probably end up ordering a clutch because you can get a 6-puck clutch from, I want to say, Impact through Rock Auto, which everyone runs this clutch apparently with the turbo application, and it's supposed to be really strong. It's only like 150 bucks. That's not a flywheel or anything, but yeah, so I'll probably just order it. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is working on this thing because it's probably never been apart before. So stuff's gonna break, bolts are gonna break, stuff's gonna strip out. So that's something I'm not looking forward to. But yeah, hard body Chinese spoolie boy. We gotta make this happen. So I'm gonna start knocking out, buying some of this stuff off the list slowly. I really don't want to start on it until we get majority of the parts in. You know, if we get the intercooler and I want to say the oil feed and an intake and stuff like that, we'll probably start trying to fab some stuff up. But I really don't want to make the truck completely immobile right now just because car season is starting up right now, and I do want to enjoy it. So I kind of want to just tackle this whole turboing the hard body thing and like in a week or two, like once I have all the parts, like try to get it all done. I know there's gonna be a lot of hiccups and stuff like that, but another thing I should mention, my horsepower goal isn't really crazy. I kind of want to just start out in the like low 200s. That's almost double what it puts to the wheel now, so I mean that'll be plenty. I mean, I think like a SR with like cams and like upgraded turbos only make like 225, and those SRs that I see people swap and run in 240s and stuff, they absolutely rip. So I think 200 wheel horsepower on this thing will be fine for now. I'm probably gonna hood stack it because why not? You know, if it sounds like crap, I'll probably, you know, fab up a full exhaust for it. But as of right now, the plan is to run the exhaust out the hood and the wastegate. Yeah, so that's the plan right now. I think that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I don't really want to drag this video out over several days because, you know, just wouldn't really make any sense. You know, I don't want to drag this video out super long for no reason because, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. It does need rear end and stuff, so I'm trying to coordinate to go pick up a rear end, hopefully Friday, and that way we can at least get back to driving it and having fun in it. We obviously got to fix the frame and stuff, but hopefully that'll be this week's goal. It doesn't look like there's gonna be a drift event this weekend like I thought. I don't know yet. I gotta check and see what the plan is, but yeah, guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Stay tuned for the hard body build, and do not forget about the first gen. I know that's what a lot of you guys come to watch, is the first gen. I get a lot more views on those videos. You know, I'll be honest, the first gen is just something that's kind of like, when I get the time and the material, I work on it, but it's just so many tedious things I'm doing with it. You know, it's gonna take some time, but we're gonna get back to work on this soon. Just gotta learn a little bit of information before I dive any farther into it, with some bodywork stuff that I have some questions about, and then yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I know this is a lot of talking, but I figured since I haven't seen you guys in like 2 weeks or more, a little talking was necessary. So I'll see you guys. Deuces.